Hello, good morning, everyone. Yeah, so I think today we'll discuss the topic of insider trading, and this is actually very important. And I thought कि हम ये जो webinar है वो इस market time में करें, so that we know that who are the promoters that are buying the stocks of their own company and which are the ones that are selling. Because I have observed that whenever the market corrects, or if a particular company has come to a very good value, then that's where their promoter go and they buy stakes in their company and they keep continuously buying that. Okay, and that is something that you get to track it through the insider trading. Similarly, I mean, market has run up so much. Many of the stocks have become 5x, 10x, 15x, and that's where I have seen this over a period of time that promoters do tempted to get to book profits and so on, and that's why they keep selling their stocks continuously in the market. And when you happen to see such pattern, those are sort of a red flags, and you need to be careful. Because remember one thing, that you know any of the stock, whatever you say, they do have some cyclicalities, and if they have gone up 5x, 7x, 10x, so then there is a scope that those stocks can correct significantly. And what I've observed is that when promoter comes and buy into the stocks, these are mostly those small companies, right? Like, say, they can range anywhere between 10, 15, 20 crores to below 1000 sort of crore. uh, I mean, those are typically the ones where you would see a lot of promoter activity. Or now you can say that, given that the market has gone up, then you can put that threshold to say 5000 crore market cap companies, right? So below that, I mean, that's where a lot of activity happens, and that's where there can be some shady companies as well. So that is something that we have to know to evaluate how the balance sheet is. And basically that's how you go about it. And yes, देवसी, ये हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों में होगा. So while I was introducing right now this topic, that's why I did it in English, but yes, it will be an Hindi and a English mix. So just to people, just for the Hindi people, this webinar ये एक्चुअली इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग पे है. एंड इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग, जैसा कि मैं स्टार्ट में कह रहा था, कि हमने देखा है कि जो स्ट्रॉन्ग कंपनीज रहती है, ठीक है, उनमें प्रमोटर हर डिप पे बाय करना चाहते हैं, स्पेशली जब उनमें कोई सिक्लिकल रीजन के वजह से उनका प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी हिट हो गया है. एंड दैट्स वेयर आप अगर इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग आप ट्रैक करोगे, then it becomes a very very important tool for you. एंड इट ऑल्सो हेल्प्स यू कि आप अपना कॉन्फिडेंस भी बिल्ड करो वो केस में, राइट? सो और दूसरा की एक और चीज जो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है जानना, इज दैट कि बाइंग तो प्रमोटर का छोड़ो, उनका सेलिंग भी ट्रैक करना इज इक्वली इंपॉर्टेंट. बिकॉज मेनी अ टाइम्स क्या होता है कि कोई स्टॉक के में अगर कोई सिक्लिकल रीजन के वजह से उसका प्रॉफिट 3x, 5x, 10x हो रहा है, ओके, एंड ड्यू टू विच द स्टॉक हैज मल्टीप्लाइड लाइक एनीथिंग, तो वो टाइम पे भी प्रमोटर्स आके सेल करते हैं. एंड दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव टू बी वेरी माइंडफुल ऑफ. ओके, तो ये इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग का जो वेबिनार है, उसमें एक अटेम्प्ट यही है टू मेक यू ऑल अंडरस्टैंड द बिहेवियर ऑफ द प्रमोटर. ओके, हाउ डू दे रिएक्ट. एंड कभी कभी ना कोई कोई प्रमोटर का एक टिपिकल बिहेवियर रहता है, ठीक है. सो दैट इज व्हाट हेल्प्स यू टू गिव द कंफर्ट कि स्पेशली अगर स्टॉक जब गिरता है, बिकॉज मार्केट में क्या होता है कि जब स्टॉक गिरते हैं तब लोगों को लगता है कि गिरते ही जाएंगे. बट एट सम पॉइंट वो एक वैल्यू इमर्ज होता है, एंड दैट्स वेयर अगर वो प्रमोटर कंटिन्यूसली बाइंग करने जाता है, okay, that's where you feel that somewhere promoter finds value now in this company. and जब वो हो जाता है, तब वो स्टॉक का डाउनसाइड रिलेटिवली बहुत लेस हो जाता है. एंड अगर डाउनसाइड आता भी है तो प्रमोटर उसे बाय बाय करके वो स्टॉक प्राइसेस को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, राइट? सो यही चीज हम ये वेबिनार के थ्रू हम समझने की कोशिश करेंगे. सो लेट मी क्विकली शेयर माय स्क्रीन. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Just comment as yes if you all can see my screen. I hope everyone is able to see my screen. Okay, okay. So yes, so I was talking about insider trading. So now इसमें अगर हम देखेंगे तो ये web.strike.money का ये डैशबोर्ड है, ठीक है? ये डैशबोर्ड में आप लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे यहाँ पे ये जो आइकन्स देख रहे हैं, वहां पे आप फर्स्ट वाले को अगर आप हवर करोगे, देर इज अ बुलेटिन बोर्ड ओवर देयर. ओके, ये बुलेटिन बोर्ड पे आप हवर करो एंड देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज डील्स एंड इनसाइडर. ठीक है, दिस इज वेयर प्रमोटर का बाइंग एक्टिविटी एंड सेलिंग एक्टिविटी इज व्हाट यू कैन ऑब्जर्व. तो यहाँ पे मैंने जब क्लिक किया तो यू विल बी लेफ्ट विथ 3 ऑप्शंस: बल्क डील, ब्लॉक डील एंड इनसाइडर ट्रेड्स. तो आज का जो टॉपिक है वो एक्चुअली इनसाइडर ट्रेड्स है, right? And here you can see that there is a column called as ACQ date. So this is nothing but acquisition date. ठीक है, एक्विजिशन डेट मतलब कि प्रमोटर या जो भी इसमें एक्चुअली देयर आर मेनी कैटेगरीज. सो एम्प्लॉइज है, की मैनेजरियल पर्सन है, प्रमोटर्स के रिलेटिव्स है एंड सो ऑन. मतलब देयर आर एन नंबर ऑफ कैटेगरीज ओवर हियर. तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि कौन से कैटेगरी का इन्वेस्टर बेच रहा है, दैट इज व्हाट वी गिव. देन मार्केट सेल हुआ है या ईसॉप्स मिला है या इनहेरिटेंस है या जो भी है, मतलब देर आर डिफरेंट मोड्स ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन एज वेल which is over there. So mode of trans is nothing but transaction, mode of transaction. Okay, other thing is transaction type, which is कि वो एक्वायर कर रहा है या डिस्पोज कर रहा है. ओके, सो यूजुअली मार्केट सेल रहेगा तो डिस्पोजल रहेगा, मार्केट परचेज रहेगा तो एक्विजिशन रहेगा. एंड देन देर इज अ कॉलम फॉर क्वांटिटी, प्राइस, वैल्यू एंड ट्रांजैक्शन के पहले उसका क्या स्टेक था, विच इज प्री ट्रांजैक्शन, एंड ट्रांजैक्शन के बाद उसका क्या स्टेक है, दैट इज पोस्ट ट्रांजैक्शन, राइट? So this is what the screen is all about. And again, the format that we'll follow is that I'll present for some half an hour, 45 minutes on this topic. उसके बाद आपको जो भी questions है related to this topic or related to this system or anything, I shall try and cover your queries. Okay. So insider trade में जैसा कि मैंने आपको कहा कि promoter selling करता है, that is not a good thing. And if promoter buys from the stock, then that is a good thing. But इसमें हमेशा एक याद रखने का कि this is one of the pattern that I have seen कि कैसा होता है कि प्रमोटर बाइंग करते हैं तो ऐसा नहीं है कि स्टॉक अगले दिन से ही भागना चालू करता है, राइट? बिकॉज द सेंटिमेंट इज वेरी बैड टुवर्ड्स दैट स्टॉक. सो इट कैन टेक सम टाइम टू क्रिएट अ बॉटम एंड देन टू टर्न अराउंड. तो वो जब वो बॉटम फॉर्मेशन का जो प्रोसेस रहता है, so that is where these promoters come and they buy like anything, like every day they will come and they will buy in the market. And those are sort of a sign for you to understand that कि वो स्टॉक का पॉसिबली एक बॉटम बन सकता है, राइट? एंड जैसे कि मैंने आपको बोला कि कोई प्रमोटर्स का टिपिकल बिहेवियर रहता है कि जब जब भी वो स्टॉक्स में ऐसे सिक्लिकल लोस पे आ जाते हैं या ड्यू टू एनी सिक्लिकल प्रॉब्लम देयर इज प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी जो कंपनी का अफेक्ट हो जाता है, तो वहां पर भी हर टाइम जहाँ पे वो सिक्लिकल ट्रफ बनने जाता है या सिक्लिकल बॉटम बनने जाता है, तो वही टाइम पे प्रमोटर्स आके बाइंग करते हैं. तो ये वाला एक चीज है विच दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई एम ट्रैकिंग फ्रॉम ऑलमोस्ट 2014 or 15, and this works very well. This technique was taught by one of my friend, and he used to do this same thing. And तो इसके लिए मैं हमेशा क्या करता हूँ कि जब भी मॉर्निंग जब भी when I open the strike, this is the first thing that I do कि promoters का एक्टिविटी क्या है, राइट? So I'll tell you, what are the green flags that you have to look at, what are the red flags that you have to look at, and accordingly, you can you can look out for the stocks. And just a disclaimer or disclosure that please, this is not a webinar when I am recommending you to buy or sell anything. I mean, whatever stocks that we discuss, those are just for educational purpose, and it is just to give you a sense के how to work around a way for it. ठीक है, मतलब इसका प्रोसेस क्या होना चाहिए और आपको क्या क्या चीजें ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए, बट बाय नो मीन्स दिस इज अ, I mean, this should not be treated as a recommendation, right? So with that, so yes, like I was saying that when I open the strike in the morning, the first thing that I do is that I look at this tab, deals and insider, and within that it is basically the insider trades. कि लोग कर क्या रहे हैं, whether they are buying, selling, or what is it that is happening. एंड इसमें दो चीज पे आई फोकस अ लॉट, एक तो मार्केट सेल और मार्केट परचेस. ओके, तो ये सब कहाँ कहाँ हो रहा है एंड क्या क्वांटम में हो रहा है, मतलब जैसे कि आप ये प्री एंड पोस्ट ट्रांजैक्शन देख पा रहे हो, तो वहां पे कितना स्टेक बढ़ रहा है या घट रहा है. आई मीन, दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई कीप अ वेरी क्लोज आई ऑन. एंड the normal pattern, like I told you, is I want to see कि कहाँ पे रेगुलरली बाइंग हो रहा है या रेगुलरली सेलिंग हो रहा है. ठीक है, इफ बाय रेगुलरली नॉट एवरी डे, बट विद इन अ मंथ उन लोग आके फ्रीक्वेंटली आके सेल करके जा रहे हैं, देन दोज आर दोज वार्निंग साइंस. तो जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि बहुत सारे कंपनीज का एक टिपिकल बिहेवियर रहता है. ओके, so ever since I was tracking these things, one company that I specifically, I have seen this behavior is Shakti Pumps. So when you look a stock like Shakti Pump, ठीक है, तो ये देखो, ये जो गिफ्ट है ना, this should not be considered as selling because this is basically transferred from one entity to other entity. But अगर आप ये शक्ति पंप देखो, आप देखोगे कि हर बार इन लोग आके यूजुअली मार्केट से बाइंग करते हैं. तो you just avoid those immediate relatives and so on, but focus more on the promoter group. एंड प्रमोटर ग्रुप में आप देखोगे तो मोस्ट लाइकली दे आर ऑलवेज ऑन द बाइंग साइड. तो ये आप देखिए, जब ये 2017 था तो ये 170, 200, 250 ऐसे पे बाइंग करते थे. इनफैक्ट स्टॉक ऊपर जा रहा है तो भी उन लोग बाइंग कर रहे थे. जैसे उन्होंने 178 से बाइंग करना चालू किया, एंड दे वर बायर्स एट हायर लेवल्स ओनली. एंड देन अगेन व्हेन 2018-19 व्हेन द मार्केट वाज करेक्टिंग, उन लोग वापस बाइंग कर रहे थे. एंड देन वी ऑल नो के शक्ति पंप्स हाउ इट हैज बिहेव्ड. सो जस्ट टू गिव यू अ सेंस, सो आई विल ओपन टू टैब्स एंड उसमें हम देखेंगे सो दैट इट बिकम्स इजी टू स्विच. सो इसमें अगर आप उनका चार्ट देखोगे, सो दिस इज शक्ति पंप्स बेसिकली. ओके, तो अभी ये एक्चुअली क्या, ये स्प्लिट बोनस हो चुका है इसमें. सो दैट इज व्हाई, आई मीन, दीज आर ऑल प्री स्प्लिट और बोनस रेट्स. तो यहाँ पे आप देखोगे जैसे मार्च 2017 वॉज समवेयर ओवर ईयर. तो बेसिकली जब ये मूव आने से पहले ही दे वर बाइंग, एंड इनफैक्ट दे वर बाइंग इनटू दिस मूव एज वेल. बट अगेन व्हाट हैपेंड वाज दैट ये जो डिक्लाइन आया 2018 से 20 तक, ओके, that is again they were buying only. Even in March they were buying, right? So इसमें आप ये देखोगे, देन अगेन जब ये 2022 के बाद करेक्ट हुआ, ओके, व्हेन वो मार्केट में रैली आया और ये करेक्शन चालू था, यू कैन सी दिस ओवर हियर फ्रॉम 2021 टू 2023. तो यहाँ पे भी अगर आप देखोगे तो इन लोग बाइंग करने आ गए थे, नवंबर, दिसंबर, इनफैक्ट मार्च में भी देवर बाइंग. तो एवरी टाइम बेसिकली व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज दैट कि जब जब भी डिप आता है तब ये प्रमोटर बाइंग करना चालू करते हैं. एंड यू हैव सीन द स्टॉक, आई मीन, इफ यू सी द अप मूव फ्रॉम द बॉटम, So you can see that each time there has been an up move. This was 7x. This is somewhere around, I mean, this is still rising higher, but ये तो 10x हो गया है, 10x प्लस है. तो दैट्स हाउ यू गेट टू सी. एंड माइंड यू, अगर आप छोटे कंपनीज में देखते हो ये चीज, देन दीज आर इवन मोर यूजफुल इंफॉर्मेशन. बिकॉज ये क्या, छोटे कंपनीज, आई मीन शक्ति पंप आई थिंक माइट बी कंडक्टिंग कॉन कॉल, बट बहुत सारे दूसरे छोटे कंपनीज ऐसे कॉन कॉल वगैरह नहीं रखते हैं. तो इट इज ओनली थ्रू दीज सॉर्ट ऑफ स्टफ where you get to understand के promoters क्या कर रहे हैं, and it sort of gives you a confidence. And apart from that, आप उसके numbers track करोगे whether promoters are buying and is the financial performance improving or no. So that is the other thing that will give you a clue. Then other company like I was tracking was this one. सो इसमें जैसे कि मैंने आपको कहा कि बहुत सारे कंपनीज का क्या होता है कि सिक्लिकल बिजनेस रहता है, एंड दैट इज हाउ द नेचर ऑफ देयर बिजनेसेस. तो हमेशा क्या होता है कि वो जब वो सिक्लिकल लो पे जब वो बिजनेस रहता है तब द प्रमोटर स्टार्ट्स बाइंग, राइट. सो वन ऑफ देम वाज व्हिच आई यूज्ड टू ट्रैक वाज एसकेएम एग. एंड एसकेएम एग आप देखोगे तो दिस इज द चार्ट फ्रॉम, आई मीन this is from 2018, right? And you can see that they were buying, and in fact जब ये आप मार्च का टाइम देख रहे हो, now you just notice the quantity. पहले आप देखोगे तो 3,000 2,000 3,000 2,000 6,000 7,000, इधर कोई टाइम पे 15 और 18,000 हो रहा था. एंड ये 15-18,000 भी कब हो रहा है, यू जस्ट चेक इट. मतलब ये सब 80-85 के रेट्स पे थे. एंड जब प्राइसेस डाउन हो रहा है, then that's where they are accumulating more, right? You can see over here, I think ये 2018 में 15,000 18,000. फिर जब आप 2020 का फेज देखोगे जब ये करेक्शंस आ रहा था, एंड यू कैन सी दैट they bought entirely, I mean most of the chunk somewhere around 23 24, and you can see the quantity over here: 28,000 19,000 20,000 45,000. ओके. एंड यू कैन सी दैट उसके बाद में जब बढ़ना चालू किया तब अगेन उन लोग ने क्वांटिटी थोड़ा स्लो डाउन किया, बट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द चंक वाज बॉट समवेयर ओवर हियर. ओके. एंड देन व्हेन यू सी द स्टॉक, so the stock was somewhere over here basically when they were buying, right? ये यहाँ पे इनफैक्ट उन्होंने बाइंग तो यहाँ कहाँ से चालू कर दिया था, बट यहाँ पे इन लोग थोड़ा थोड़ा ले रहे थे, एंड दिस इज वेयर दे बॉट द मोस्ट. एंड देन यू कैन सी दैट, एंड आई ये कंपनी भी मेरे नज़र में आया था. तो इसमें व्हेन आई स्टडीड फर्दर, सो आई अंडरस्टूड के ओके दिस इज अ सिक्लिकल बिजनेस, इसमें कुछ बर्ड फ्लू आता है एंड सो ऑन. देन इट डज अफेक्ट द कंपनी, बट लाइक आई मेंशन्ड उनके प्रॉफिट्स भी वापस आ जाते हैं, एंड आई विल शो यू दिस विद द एविडेंस एज वेल. तो इसमें भी अगर आप देखोगे तो इसका जो प्राइस था वो बॉटम टू टॉप ये ऑलमोस्ट 2,800%, सॉरी 2,600-700% सॉर्ट ऑफ रिटर्न उसने दिया. नाउ आई नो दैट कोई भी बॉटम या टॉप तो पकड़ नहीं पाएगा, बट just to give you a sense के क्या sort of move आता है, and उसमें even if we are able to catch half of it, even then it is like an awesome gain for us. तो जैसा कि मैंने आपको बोला कि ये बिजनेस सिक्लिकल होते हैं, तो यहाँ पे आप अभी ये स्टॉक के पेज के अंदर आप हो, ठीक है. तो अगर आपको स्टॉक के पेज पे आना है तो आप टाइप करोगे ऊपर कोई भी स्टॉक. ये केस में हम एसकेएम एग की बात कर रहे हैं, तो आई हैव टाइप्ड एसकेएम एग. Then I went to fundamentals के अंदर मैं annual P&L अगर मैं करूँगा ना, so this is where you understand, okay? So you can see that कि यहाँ पे top line is still okay, but इसका जो आप ये जो पैड देखोगे तो 25 करोड़ 24 करोड़ वो सीधा 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ somewhere it fell over there. And then after 2020, when I don't know, maybe due to COVID, those supply chain disruptions or shortage or whatever it is, उसके वजह से they got a very handsome profit. And वो जो उनका जो 25 करोड़ का था वो सीधा 45 85 crore ऐसा कुछ हो गया, right? And even their revenues also doubled. And if you see the EBITDA margins, मतलब जो 13% था वो 21-22% हो गया. But like I mentioned, I mean आप इनके business में आप profits also, if you see, there are 2-3 years of profit, then there are 2-3 years of down cycle, then again there are 2-3 years of profit and then a down cycle, and that's how the nature of the business is. Even अगर आप उसका quarterly P&L आप अभी अगर आप track करोगे तो you will understand that 27, 28, 35 ऐसा करोड़ का पैट हो रहा था, and now it is slowing down. So that means ये स्टॉक का मे बी दैट सिक्लिकल पीक विच वाज देयर, दैट इज डन, एंड मे बी नाउ इट माइट बी इन डाउन साइकिल, एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू आर सीइंग प्रॉफिट गेटिंग हाफ. तो इसमें भी कोई एक पॉइंट आएगा जब अगेन यू विल सी दोज बिहेवियर्स के मार्केट से प्रमोटर बाइंग करना चालू करेगा एंड सो ऑन, एंड दैट विल प्रोबेबली बी द टाइम टू वंस अगेन लुक एट द स्टॉक. बट लाइक आई मेंशन टू यू, अभी ये वाला भी जैसा स्टॉक है SKM Egg which I mentioned, usually I have observed that they come and they only buy in the market. Very very rarely you will see them selling. And जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि ये जो उनके relatives है वो सब है, who might be informed and they might be taking position based on promoters conversation only. तो उन लोग आके डंप करते रहेंगे. बट जैसे कि आप प्रमोटर का भी अगर आप सेलिंग देखो तो it has been relatively less when compared to the up move, and you can see that there was some encashing that was done by the promoter, because आप देखोगे तो इन्होंने पूरा नीचे में बाइंग किया था, and some part of it they sold in two tranche around 475 and 380. And if you look at the peak of the stock, I think it was somewhere around 500-600 or so. So yes, तो प्रमोटर ने भी इधर किधर आके दे सोल्ड समथिंग, and that is sort of a sign that you have to watch out for. So जो मैं बोल रहा था कि वो cyclically उनका अगर profitability peak हो जाता है तो there are promoters that will come and that will encash only, so that जब ये नेक्स्ट साइकिल रहेगा एंड नेक्स्ट साइकिल ऑफ अपमूव आएगा तब उन लोग ये सब बाइंग कर पाए. ओके, सो एंड मैं आपको बताऊं यही सेक्टर में, बिकॉज आई वाज ट्रैकिंग SKM Egg so closely, so I was tracking their what do we say, competitors as well. So there was a competitor called as Ovobel Food. Okay, ये Ovobel Food बाइंग तो इतना कुछ खास किया नहीं था. You can see that everything is off market. तो ये off market को I don't give much importance, but it is the market buying or market selling that is important. And you can see that ये promoter भी आके 2023, okay, when इन लोग के actually profitability थोड़े बहुत peak out हो चुके थे, तो वो टाइम पे आके okay, I think ये ना so right now our system is covering only BSE but NSE stock, but we'll soon cover BSE as well. तो इसमें अगर आप देखोगे तो ये Ovobel Foods, okay, so 2023 में आके the promoter started to sell, and you can see that 2023 August was sort of the peak. So let me remove all the indicators over here, okay, and you can see that ये भी stock 20 वाला almost 395 ऐसा हो गया था, but you just observe कि उन लोग का selling क्या rate पे था. okay, they started selling in the month of June 2023. तो in fact peak होने के पहले से ही they started selling, right? You can see over here June 2023. So June 2023 is nothing but this. So this is where they actually started selling, and you see the transaction sell, everything is sell. In fact उन लोग बेच ही रहे थे दिसंबर तक भी. Even at lower rate they were willing to sell. So you can see over here 185 में सेल हो रहा है, 190 में सेल हो रहा है, 240 में सेल हो रहा है, 260 में सेल हो रहा है, right? At some point they also sold it around 330, 310 and so on. But you can see that over here the promoter holding is declining continuously, and they are coming and they are selling in the market. So this is not a good sign, okay, especially when the stock is cyclical. So that is why I mentioned to you, okay, look at the behavior. Now you see SKM Egg, who on the one side is only a buyer, okay, जब भी peak होता है, and when there is a peak they do encash some amount of their holding. Okay, basically it might be the amount that they would have invested, that is something that they take out, but rest उन लोग होल्ड रखते हैं. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम प्रमोटर का स्टेक वो कंपनी में बढ़ते ही जाता है, राइट. बट ऑन द अदर हैंड व्हेन यू सी सच कंपनीज जहां पे ये कंटिन्यूस सेलिंग होता है, दीज आर ऑल रेड फ्लैग्स. एंड you should be very careful from such sort of companies, especially when they are at their peak. Okay, the other one that comes to my mind, this was something when we had an offsite event of India Chart. So that's where I had discussed this company. So this was basically Lincoln Pharma. Okay, and Lincoln Pharma, if you see, the promoters were continuously buying from the open market, and you can see that this was in the phase of 2020 2021. And if you see the quantity as well, उनका इनफैक्ट उनका क्वांटिटी भी बहुत बढ़ रहा था. ओके, so it was not like a 5-10,000, but they were accumulating more and more, like 33,000, 34, and that had become a regular phenomena despite the stock rising higher. Okay, so this was sort of giving us giving me an indication that promoter is probably, they know something about the company, and that is why उन लोग continuously buying कर रहे हैं. And मैंने देखा है कि जब ये प्रमोटर बाइंग होता है, and with that, if there is a breakout on the stock as well, so this is like a very deadly combination, and there is no better combination than this. So basically what had happened was, when I saw this part, तो ये ना ऐसा कुछ था. बेसिकली दिस रेजिस्टेंस गॉट ब्रोकन ऑन द अपसाइड, एंड प्रमोटर कंटिन्यूसली यहाँ पे बाइंग कर रहा था. ओके, इनफैक्ट ये पहले बीएससी में लिस्टेड था. दिस वाज ओनली बीएससी लिस्टेड प्रायर टू दिस. देन आई थिंक ट्रेडिंग व्यू आल्सो डजंट हैव द डेटा. So I think even they don't have the. Okay, so उनके पास भी खाली इतना ही है. But yeah, the broader point is that they were accumulating a lot in this area, which is basically, I'll just highlight it. They started. So 2020 में भी उन लोग थोड़ा बाइंग कर रहे थे, but 2021 is where they were buying a lot. Okay, basically in this phase, and you can see this basically over here. Lincoln Pharma, yeah. So you can see that 2021. So हाँ, ये अगस्त दिसंबर में थोड़ा बहुत ही बाइंग कर रहे थे, but this is where they started buying continuously from Feb onwards. So Feb 2021 is somewhere over here. So that is where initially they were buying, then they kept buying over here, and they even kept buying over here. So you can see that they were continuously buying till 2020. In fact 2023 tak bhi they were buying. And basically this is what you have seen. And again, like I mentioned to you, this is not a recommendation or something, but the way the promoters are buying, it looks like that there is something that they know, and or they might be doing something big, and that is why they are continuously buying. So there has been some disposal over there, but you can see the quantity. Apart from this 62,000, which was around 713, which could be a peak over there, but उसके अलावा they haven't encashed so much. And ये भी जो मैंने बताया आपको, इंटर ट्रांसफर, ये वही रहता है कि ये एक एंटिटी से बेच के दूसरे एंटिटी को आता है, तो यू शुड नॉट रीड मच अबाउट इट. बट मार्केट परचेज एंड मार्केट सेलिंग, this is something that you need to track very closely. तो this is where they have been continuous buyer. And in fact अगर आप उनका रिजल्ट भी बाद में आप देखना चालू करो, okay, in fact you see the annual P&L, and you can see over here कि पहले तो उन लोग 15-20 करोड़ का पैड करते थे प्रायर टू कोविड. ओके, आफ्टर एंड कोविड के पहले से उनका थोड़ा अपवर्ड ट्रेजेक्ट्री चालू हो गया था, एंड देन इन कोविड, आफ्टर कोविड, बेसिकली 50 करोड़ वाला 90 करोड़ हो गया, एंड इवन नाउ दे आर ग्रोइंग, राइट. सो when they are growing and promoter ka holding is also higher, so this is a good sign, and you can see it over here as well in shareholding pattern. अगर आप overview में जाओ, okay, overview में जाके there is, wait, I will show you once again. Oh, once you go in overview, okay, यहाँ पे bottom में there is this shareholding. यहाँ पे आप maximize करोगे तो you will get to know the entire trend, and you can see that 42% था, उसका 49.78% हुआ, and I think ये 40 से भी कम था when they started buying, right? So yes, I mean, this is one. Then the another case that I remember, and you know the reason why I remember these stocks is because ये stocks में breakout भी हुआ था and promoters were buying, okay. Because see, honestly, I am more of a technical guy than a fundamental guy, but fundamentally मैं खाली बस ये सब चीज देखता हूँ कि बैलेंस शीट में डेट तो नहीं है and so on, you know, just those hygiene checks that you want to do. जैसे कि if you see the long term borrowing, you know, that has been coming down. If you see their short term borrowings also, ये भी जो पहले रहता था, that is also coming down, so this is relatively a debt free company, okay. So those are all the minor you know, hygiene checks that I do कि इनका cash flow है तो how the cash flow is, whether it is increasing, stable or so on, or at least they are making money, right? तो अगर ये है, debt भी कम है, like we saw over here, debt भी अगर कम है and technically it is good and the promoter is buying, then you know these are sort of you know, blind you know, bets that you might want to take, जहाँ पे you know you can make an handsome return. So as you saw, this was the case. Then the other one which I was mentioning was Mangalam drugs, sorry, Mangalam cement. एंड यहाँ पर भी आप उनका शेयर होल्डिंग देखोगे तो 22% का ये 37% आ गया, ओके. एंड दिस रेज माय आईब्रोज दैट व्हाई आर दे यू नो बाइंग. एंड मैं जब वो प्रमोटर बाइंग का ही मैं चेक कर रहा था, दैट इज वेयर आई सॉ इट. सो इवन इफ यू सी मंगलम सीमेंट, ओके, यहाँ पर डील्स एंड इनसाइडर्स, you go over here, Mangalam Cement, okay, and here you can see that they were continuously buying after 2020. In fact 2019 में ही थोड़ा बहुत buying कर रहे थे. In fact it was not thoda bahut, but it was meaningful. It was say around 255, 260 and so on, and you can see 4 lakh, 1,25,000 and so on. But after 2020 also, if you see, you know, they were continuously buying, and in fact at some point in 2020 उन लोग का थोड़ा buying increase भी हो गया, right? यहाँ पे 5 lakh, 3,50,000, and you can see that entire thing, this was accumulated in, I mean, somewhere in the zone of 150 to 310, 320, okay. In fact 350 was the last one that they bought in October 2023. उसके बाद थोड़ा बहुत buying किया, but now you can see that the quantity has reduced substantially, right? It is 40,000, 20,000, whereas earlier they used to do 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh was also there and so on. And as I mentioned to you, so if I do over here, you can see that उन लोग का जो होल्डिंग है, प्रमोटर होल्डिंग, दैट इंक्रीज फ्रॉम 25% to 36.94%. एंड व्हेन यू सी द चार्ट, okay, when you see their weekly chart, so I'm taking a little compressed one, so you can see that this was an entire range, bigger range that got broken on the upside, right? And like I mentioned to you कि इन लोगों को पता ही रहता है you know what has happened, I mean what is happening in the company, and they were actually buying over here only, you know, somewhere over here. Like I mentioned to you, 150 say 350 was sort of a range where they were buying, and you can see that, you know, this has become 2-3x you know, since then. So the point is that, and you know, see, one thing that you'll need to understand is that कि ये जो insider trading है, ये ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने आज ले लिया, एक महीने में बेच दिया, you know, because after COVID the way the stocks have moved, लोगों का टाइम होराइजन भी यू नो लॉन्ग टर्म बोलेगा तो 2 months 3 months हो गया. आई मीन दिस इज नॉट हाउ इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग वर्क्स, ओके. यू नीड टू बी पेशेंट विद द स्टॉक, बिकॉज यूजुअली व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट के प्रमोटर ऐसे सॉर्ट ऑफ फेज में बाइंग करना चालू करेगा, ओके. तो फॉर इट टू सी एन अप मूव, देन देयर विल बी अ करेक्शन, बिकॉज ये करेक्शन के टाइम भी देयर इज नॉट मच बिलीफ ऑन द स्टॉक, राइट? तो ये हमेशा है ना ऐसे ही रहता है कि ये जब भी डाउन साइकिल से अप आ रहा है फिर अप से डाउन जाएगा, तो इधर लोग बेरिश है, यहाँ पर भी लोग उतने ही बेरिश रहेंगे, बोलेंगे कि अरे ये तो खाली बाउंस और फिर गिर रहा है, and this company is useless only. But if the promoters are buying, if the valuations are also cheap, and if you do all those things, so अगर आप यहाँ पे फंडामेंटल्स में भी देखो, ठीक है, इनका ईवी टू एबिटा, आई थिंक इट माइट, हाँ, तो ये आप देख सकते हो कि 2020 में इन लोग का ईवी टू एबिटा was very was to below the average, right? And it was trending way below the average, and you can see that 3.5 was the EV to EBITDA. Now it has re-rated to 11.5 EV to EBITDA, right? So अगर ये valuation parameters पे lower है, if you see the price to book value was somewhere was also lower over here, okay? So when your price to book is low, or your valuation parameters are low, promoters are buying. And I think when you see the quarterly results as well, so quarterly mein to 2020 mein you can see that there was a very big jump in their profit, right? You can see over here, ये जो 9, 4, 5, 11 whatever percent EBITDA margin was there, 16 आ गया, and then actually they didn't look back apart from 2023. Okay, their EBITDA margins have been relatively good. So this again happens like a good opportunity. I mean that is what I had spotted at that time. So mainly the game is to look at the insider trading continuously, okay, and try to make sense out of what is happening. Now I'll tell you one company where I saw, and where things look a little interesting, is basically Sheila Foam. Okay, now as I mentioned, I mean this is not a recommendation, but what I'm seeing is that promoters have started to buy. Actually, ये quantity, I mean this is nothing so great to write home about, but they have started to do so. And I'll tell you कि ये मेरे radar में क्यों आया था, because when I was checking the stock, इसके जो fundamentals भी है, that seems to be doing good. लाइक यू सी इसका मार्केट कैप टू सेल्स है, ये पूरा जो हमारे पास जो 10 साल का डेटा है उसका ऑलमोस्ट ये 2 स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन लाइन पे आ रहा है, राइट? एंड इफ यू सी द पी, सो पी आई थिंक, हाँ, पी भी एक्चुअली डाउन है, एंड इट इज इट इज एक्चुअली 56. बट honestly, what is happening then, I dug deeper into this company, and what has happened is that this company has acquired a company called as Kurlon or something like that, okay, and now they have integrated to their business. And basically what you see in the quarterly balance sheet, I mean quarterly P&L as well, okay, you can see that earlier they were clocking a revenue of 729 and so on, but now there has been an increase in the revenue. In fact, when you see the annual P&L, you will see this. I mean, this has continuously grown, like 14 crore say, it was continuously growing. Over here also the profits, they were growing until this point, March 2023, because that is where they made a big acquisition. और ये एक्विजिशन में क्या हो गया, इन लोग का डेप्रिसिएशन भी, you can see that somewhere over here 59 or so on, वहां से 158 हो गया है. So now this depreciation is making the profits look a bit unreal. But if you see the EBITDA margins, so at some point of time, they had even gone to 13-14% kind of EBITDA margin, which is now down. And plus उसमें क्या हो गया है कि because उन लोग ने कुछ नया एक्विजिशन किया था, तो उनका भी EBITDA margin was down and so on. But now so basically management का interviews भी आया था, and they were hoping for a turnaround and so on. So this is why this company has come to my radar, mainly because इसका valuation है, that has come towards the 2 standard deviation mark, right? And then if you see, तो आपको अगर देखना है तो ये स्टॉक के अंदर भी देयर इज अ बुलेटिन बोर्ड, एंड वहां पे डील्स एंड इनसाइडर में देखोगे तो आपको खाली शीला फोम रिलेटेड ही दिखेंगे, राइट? एंड दैट इज लाइक, इफ यू सी वेरी रिसेंटली, दिस इज 19 नवंबर, ओके, दैट्स वेयर लास्ट 2-3 दिन में दे हैव बीन बाइंग. and they have been disclosing. But I would love to see this trend, going forward. If that happens, and if technically also it turns around, okay, so that is why, this is one approach that we have given in strike, which is strike valuation setup. वहां पे what we do is that हम ये टेक्नो फंडा अप्रोच करते हैं, and you can see over here that the momentum indicator on the monthly chart. So because we are looking at max, we have linked it to the monthly chart, right? तो ये monthly chart में when it is in sell, ओके, और ये टू स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन पे आ रहा है, तो ये टू स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन पे आता है तब इट्स, आई मीन दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू नीड टू कीप एन आई ऑन. इसमें मूवमेंट तभी आएगा ना जब ये यहाँ से अब जाके क्रॉस ओवर देगा. ओके, जब ये मंथली में क्रॉस ओवर आएगा ना, दैट इज व्हेन वी कैन से टू सर्टेन एक्सटेंट दैट ये जो भी करेक्टिव फेज था दैट इज पॉसिबली गेटिंग ओवर, एंड मे बी पीपल वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड, एंड मे बी देयर कैन बी अ केस दैट अ न्यू लेग ऑफ अप मूव कैन हैपन. नाउ you will say that के अच्छा ये तो आप अभी बोल रहे हो and so on, but I can tell you that I have seen this pattern again and again. I mean, if you see ITC was one of the most hated stock in 2021. Okay, इतने मीम बनते थे कि कब ITC का used to say that कब खून खोलेगा and so on. But you can see over here valuation was at a -2 HD. Okay, ये सेल में था, तो जब तक ये सेल में रहता है यू नीड टू अवॉइड इट. ओके, द मोमेंट it gives a bullish crossover, and I can make a candlesticks chart, I mean bar chart. So I often use bar, but you can see over here this was the candle when this signal emerged, right? और valuation भी आपके side में था. So when this happens, that's where it saw a massive run in next couple of years or so. So valuation coming down along with momentum giving a bullish crossover, and if there is a promoter buying, so this makes a very good combination. In fact, like I mentioned to you कि now see there was a specific reason मैं ये webinar I chose in this sort of market is because there might be many people who might be looking to sell their stocks as well, right? तो इसमें ही मैं देख रहा था, आई मीन ऑलरेडी मेनी पीपल आर कमिंग एंड दे आर सेलिंग इन द मार्केट. वन नोटेबल नेम वाज पेज इंडस्ट्रीज. You can see that promoter and director, they are selling it, and so then I typed page at the top, and then I saw तो इन लोग तो 2023 2022 ये सब में भी सेल कर रहे थे. You can see that, and broadly if you see their selling range, I mean somewhere around 40,000 से लेके this 44 now. Okay, that is where they are continuously coming and they are selling. So when this happens, I get a little skeptical, and I think that okay, Page Industry is a very good company and so on, but why are the promoters selling out? And then I saw the promoter holding as well, and you can see that 47% से लेके 44 हो गया, right? Then when I check their fundamentals, what is happening in this company, and EV to EBITDA, okay, this is not extremely overvalued or so, but yes, if you see their PE also, so PE अपने historical average से ये थोड़ा ही ऊपर है, but you can see that over here it is around 80 PE. Okay, that is not cheap by any standard. When you see their P&L, so now you look into this. Okay, उनका पैड भी बढ़ रहा है. Okay, from 450 crores and so on, from now it has gone to somewhere around, so on a trailing 12-month basis, 620 crore is their profit. And if I want to see it in terms of growth percentage, so you can see over here that the top line has reduced substantially, right? I mean उसका growth ही नहीं हो रहा है, and in fact PAT growth भी last 2 years में it is negligible. So when your PAT growth is negligible, so अभी जैसे मैंने आपको इसलिए बोला कि having a good look at a growth percentage is also important, because you will see that okay, 196 से इतना हो गया है PAT, okay, it has risen so much. But when you see it in terms of growth percentage, if there is a single digit bottom line top line growth, okay, and the stock is trading at 80-90 PE, there is a very high chance that इसका PE de-rating होगा, and it can create a problem. I don't know, maybe that is one of so then I will start thinking that is this the reason why promoter might want to sell or so on. But even if you see the chart, तो उन लोग जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया, उन लोग आई थिंक 2022 के ऐसे टाइम से बेच रहे थे, एंड यू हैव सीन दैट द स्टॉक हैज गॉन नोवेयर सिंस देन, राइट? इनफैक्ट वो तो 29-30,000 भी हो गया था, बट फ्रॉम देयर इट हैज गॉन अप, एंड नाउ अगेन व्हेन इट इज राइजिंग हायर तो प्रमोटर आके सेलिंग करना चाह रहे हैं इसमें. So then, this makes me a little uncomfortable, and I might want to avoid such stocks. So yes, I think this was one. So yes, I think broadly, I have tried to cover कि buying में कैसा behavior रहता है, selling में कैसा behavior रहता है, and the other thing is that you just need to do those basic checks on fundamentals कि इनका एब्सोल्यूट टर्म्स में कैसे हो रहा है, ग्रोथ टर्म्स में कैसे हो रहा है. ओके, इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड फिगर्स, गो टू चार्ट, दिस विल मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, दिस इज एब्सोल्यूट फिगर. अगर आपको ग्रोथ देखना है तो यू कैन सी ग्रोथ ओवर ईयर. यू कैन पुट 2-3 पैरामीटर्स एज वेल. आई मीन आप 4 पैरामीटर को एक ही साथ आप देख सकते हैं. सो राइट नाउ आई हैव सिलेक्टेड revenue and PAT, and you can see that the growth is slowing down substantially, right? So basically these are the things that you need to watch out for. And like I mentioned to you, मतलब ये चीज आपको खाली सुबह आके बस 5 मिनट देखना है. बुलेटिन बोर्ड में जाओ, what is happening in insider trading, just check what is happening, because every day आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको 200 300 400 का लिस्ट आएगा. there are very few stocks that will be there, and आधे तो इतने छोटे रहते हैं that you might not want to be interested in checking those stocks, right? But just checking, having a glance will help you take some idea, because maybe जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया, मैं चेक कर रहा था, and that's where I found Sheila Foam over there. Okay, and I was quite interested when I saw that name, because कोई तो रीजन से वो मेरे रडार पे आया था. I think it was due to some technical factor or so, but then when I saw this thing happening, this is now giving me a little more confidence that maybe जो valuation भी जो एकदम down है, so that's where I think there might be some value to this stock, and this might be worth noting. So ऐसे ही क्या, अगर आप आके बस खाली 5 मिनट आप स्पेंड करोगे, and you will see what the promoters are doing, you will get a fair idea. In fact, अगर आप आके देखते हो market is rising higher, I mean market is ferociously rising higher, and people are coming and they are dumping the stock, you will sort of understand what the market mood is, and that is also somewhere will help you in your trading or investment, in taking trading and investment calls as well. कि if promoters, if हर कंपनी का आके प्रमोटर आके सेल कर रहा है, then are we at a top or something, and it might make you think कि अगर मुझे बाइंग करना है तो is it that I am having a good risk reward, is the company fairly valued, and so on, and that is what it will make you think. And I think tracking this will make it worthwhile for you, and it might end up giving you some good ideas as well. But couple of things that you need to keep in mind is that कि टर्न अराउंड होने में ऐसे कंपनीज में टाइम लगता है. ओके, सो दैट्स वेयर यू हैव टू बी माइंडफुल ऑफ. आपने देख लिया कि अगर आज ये शीला फोम ले रहा है, देयर इज अ गुड चांस कि वो 6-8 महीना यही रेंज में रहे, एंड द प्रमोटर्स कीप बाइंग. Okay, but by then you will be mentally drained, because after COVID people don't have the capacity to even hold for 15-20 days. उनको आज चाहिए, आज लेके कल 20 टका कमाना है. That is the mindset with which people come with. So this is strictly not for those, but someone who is patient, who is willing to enter into good stocks at good valuations and so on. This is basically the old school technique, I would say. जहाँ पे you look at the way the company is functioning, then if they are doing good reasonable profits like 20-30% growth and so on, so that's where you might be interested in these stocks, especially when the insider starts coming and they are buying into the stocks. So I think with that, I think I will complete my presentation, and if there is any question that you all have, we'll take it up. So I am just starting to address all the question. How to filter and how many acquisitions should trigger our interest? So Krishnan, like I mentioned to you, I mean, see Krishnan, right now we don't have a scanner for insiders. Maybe at a later point of stage we will build that, because like every one of you who are associated with us know that basically, we are working on that 1 minute delay part, right? And we are, we are very, I mean, we are getting closer to that, right? So once that is done, probably we'll try to enhance this more. And there are some improvement that needs to be done on this page, which is very well there in our to do list. So once we do all those things, and after that, we'll come up with the scanner. But right now these filters are not that robust. We need to make it a little more robust. So but what you can do is that yahan pe na you can do buy and disposable. Once you do that, so you get all selling wala stocks. If you want to do buying ka, so acquisition and buy. Okay, so these are the two filters that you can apply, and that will help you to understand whether I mean, promoters are buying, selling, and so on. So this is one way that can probably help you. I mean, filters at the top. Second one, how to identify these stocks. So Nishant, again, like I mentioned to you, I mean, you will have to put in that 5 minutes every day to go through the list, because these are not many stocks. Just you go through the screen, and if you see, just go to the strike screen. Once you're at the dashboard, go to bulletin board, go to insider. Okay, and you see over here, like you see, I mean, if I only do this 22, there are, so there is barely one or two scroll which is there. Okay, and even that you have to just identify where there are market purchases and so on, right? So that is the only thing that you have to do. And I'm telling, 5 minutes is also on a higher side. You just need to do it for 2-3 minutes, and you will be able to understand what the people are doing. Okay, so you might need to do that hard work of going through that list for 5-10 minutes or so. Okay. uh, so Vishal Cheda has a question. Hi Jay, do you see Poonawalla FinCorp just like Sheila Foam? Poonawalla FinCorp, I need to search if they are buying or no. Oh, okay. They seems to be buying. Okay, this is interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that 2931, and the amount is also fairly large. Like, I think this is 25 crores. 100 lakh. Yeah, this is 25 crore. Okay, so here now what I'll do is that I'll have to see what is happening fundamentally. So okay, the stock has seen a big correction. I think, yeah, this is also due to the microfinance issue that seems to be coming up. And okay, so over here in bulletin boards, if I go, so I'll keep two tabs. Poonawalla. So they have been buying. So the first purchase was somewhere around 495, and after that 330, 370. But see, this is also one thing that you need to watch. Why is it that the prices are getting lower and the quantity is getting reduced? I mean, over here they were buying very aggressively. It was, I think, 40 lakh shares, and now the quantum is just 7 lakh, 5 lakh. So you need to keep a track on this. Okay, and one thing that I'll tell you is that, and this I have seen it many times, what happens is that to arrest the stock price falling, many of the promoters do tend to do this thing. I think I was looking into Lupin as well. So when Lupin was falling, I remember very closely because I was tracking the stock. So see, this was the time in December 2020, around this 800, 820 mark. So what had happened was Lupin was falling. So it was around this part, I think, somewhere over here. So promoters were buying, and but if you see the quantum, it was nothing. I mean, from Lupin standard, buying 4 crore every day is not a big thing, because I think it was somewhere around 1 lakh crore market cap at that point of time. I mean, at the highest point, right? So over there, you can see that they were coming, and every day they were buying and they were disclosing, and that was making people feel that the bottom is somewhere near. But at the same time, then if you see the promoters, I mean, the employees were selling and so on. So I don't know. I mean, and plus when I was looking at the chart, it was not looking that great as well. I think there were some moving averages or something that it was not breaking on the weekly chart. So you can see over here, I mean, it was struggling to sustain above the 20-week average, and that is what was not giving me that comfort. Like you see over here on the monthly chart, it was not able to cross the monthly average. So that's why, I mean, I was not giving that importance. So in Poonawalla also right now, I mean, this is a good case study, जहाँ पे the prices have fallen a lot, right? Poonawalla has seen a meaningful knock, like you see, from almost around 520 to 270 levels and so on. So from there has been a good bounce as well. But first thing to watch out for is that are they continuously buying? Which is over here, you will observe. Are they continuously buying? And only thing that makes me a little superstitious about, I mean, this makes me a little uncomfortable about this is that कि ये 40 lakh quantity buy किया, तो in fact price, if it has come down by almost 20-30%, they should be buying 50-70 lakh shares, but their quantity has reduced substantially. So then this makes me feel that is it that they are trying to show that they are buying into the market, and they are sort of arresting the fall. That could be one of the case. So you need to watch out for this very closely, Vishal. How will you so there is a question from Nishant, how will you know buying will continue? Is entry based on technicals? So yes, Nishant, as I mentioned to you earlier as well, from the core of it, I am more on the technical side, right? I mean, I follow technical analysis more, but I do just those normal fundamental checks, whether the debt is higher or no, I mean, debt is lower or no, then is the profitability and all okay, or is the revenue consistently rising and so on. I mean, I do those small checks, then I see what the promoters are doing, and then if technically there is a bullish signal that I am getting on the chart, then that's where I would be interested to build some position over there, right? Sushil Panda, so is there an facility to uh, uh, so yes, there is an export facility that is there. So if you do this and if you do the export, so you will get in CSV or Excel format. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I mean, right now we don't have scanners at this point of time, but we will eventually build it, because right now we have some other priority in the short term, but that is something that we will definitely look to build over a period of time. uh, just just give me a minute. Yeah. So the next question is from Trading Hacks. How often this data gets updated? Is it on daily basis, or is there a gap in the transaction and execute? No. So this at the end of the day, we usually get it. Okay, Trading Hack. So at the end of the day, when our system gets updated around 7:38 or so. Now again, please remember that जब भी NSE data देता है, that's when our system gets updated. So at times there have been cases that they have given us data at 10:11 as well in the night. So that is something that you have to be mindful of. But on a regular basis, what I have observed is that I think around 7:30 7:30 to 8:30 is where the system gets updated. I mean, and we get all the data from NSC, and whatever is the I mean, whatever basically is the data that gets updated on that particular EOD, that's get updated into our system. Okay. Sushil Panda, can you change RRG weekly to Saturday? Now in weekly, it is updated on Monday. No, so Sushil, just one thing that you have to understand is that, I mean, this we have tried to clarify, for the people who are posting doubts to us. So you can see that this is from 21st October to 18 November. Okay, now 18 November is actually the start of the week, and that is what we consider. Now the reason why we had put this was because when you see a trading view chart, okay, so even trading view charts, despite your Friday being on 22nd, they show the start date of the candle. Okay, so please understand that if in RRG on the weekly or monthly it is showing you this, in fact even if you see monthly, it will show you 1st November because this is the start of the month. But whatever data that you're seeing is as on the last trading day. Okay, so please don't confuse with that. I mean, don't get confused with this date. This is actually the start date. Okay, and that is why we are considering it, because what we thought was that कि लोगों को इसके साथ फिर confusion होगा, because here in trading view it shows 1st November, and over here if it would be different, then it will I mean, then people will not understand. But please understand that this is as on the latest data. Okay, so if you see it on Friday in the midday, that is still Friday midday. Okay, and not that ke wo Monday se rahega. So I hope it clarifies your doubt, Sushil. Ash, there is a question from Ash. Jay, question on daily swing in the platform: is daily swing updated every minute? So yeah, it is every 5 minutes. So when our system gets updated, it gets updated. But once we do those optimization and all, so it will come down to every 1 minute. Okay. Sushil, can you provide RS scanners? So, Sushil, we have already made webinars and so on. So, heat map, we have built it based on the RS only. Okay, I mean, that is based on the relative strength. So, if you see over here, now if say Nifty had peaked on, I think 26th, Nifty made this peak on the daily chart on 27, matlab 26 ka close was the peak, right? So over here also what you do is that 26 ko leke, if you do the current date, so these all performance that you get is nothing but your relative strength performance. Okay, now within, if you say, if you click on Nifty 500, so these green stocks are all the ones that have done very well, right? Now someone would say that I want to see on all NSE stocks. Okay, there is a drop down at the top for NSE all stocks, right? In NSE all stocks, you again put those filters, and sorry, so you again put those filters and you will get over here. Now the thing is that you may say that I want to make a watch list of that. Then again, that is possible. Say I want only all the stocks which have moved more than 5%. So I selected this particular category and I clicked over here, and if I click all, okay, I can make a scanner, I mean I can make a watch list out of this. Okay, so yahan pe I have to just say create new watch list. Okay, stocks moving more than 5%, and I create a watch list, and I'll say add to my watch list. So here you will see your watch list. I mean, all the stocks getting added up in your watch list. Now, if you do want to scan only on your watch list, even that facility is available over here. So you go to the scanner, say I want to check RMI, okay, of my basket. So what I do is that I remove everything, and I see stocks moving more than 5%, right? And which are the ones that are giving daily new buy? So these are the ones that are giving new buy among the strong stocks, right? So the point is that this heat map basically works as a relative strength analysis. Either ways you want to do, you can see if you all have, if Sushil, you have any specific problem. There are a lot of webinars that we have done. So on the YouTube, if you go and you see strike and strike IC, if you type, so this is our YouTube channel. You go to strike YouTube channel and you see live over here, and you will see that there are a lot of webinars that are done over here. So this is the heat map webinar that we have done. You can go through this and you can understand basically what is heat map, how we have made it, how can you make the best use of that. And apart from that, there are, for all the important features of our platform, there is something called as help button at the top. So when you click over there, you will, we have specifically made a detailed video of 15 to 30 minutes on the best features of strike and how to make the best use of that. Okay, so these are all uploaded over here and on YouTube channel as well. So either ways, if you want to go, if you want to go it through strike, there is an option over there to click on help, and you will get to you'll end up landing on this page, right? There is a question from Bobby: how to gauge a company like Gensol whose promoters are continuously buying but having not favorable reputation in spite of good working? So I know, Bobby, what you are saying. So I had seen this stock in the list, but the problem over there is that they might probably stretching too much, because they are also creating a lot of pledge. So if I type Gen Sol over here, okay, now I'll tell you how I analyze, right? See, as you mentioned that, at times they are coming and they are buying, but you have to also understand that this is 1 lakh. This is how much? 100,000 lakh. So this is 1 crore, 2 crore. If you see it in percentage terms, it doesn't move the needle much. So over here, okay, there is 0.6, 0.7% that has been taken, but you can see that, the promoters are continuously pledging. That means that, you know, so it is that kind of stock na ke whatever they plan and they execute, agar wo hua to they can become hero, or things can end very badly because they are pledging, right? If they have envisaged something and that is not happening, then it can create a problem for them as well. And like I mentioned, why this makes me a little uncomfortable is because when I see the fundamentals, I see the cash flow. You see this cash flow. Okay, there is, from the business, they couldn't generate the business. They could not make money out of that, which means that their receivables might be increasing. So if I see their balance sheet, I will want to see the debt. It was 3 crore, 39 crore, 447 crore, 857 crore. So debt is continuously rising. If I see the short-term debt, that has risen substantially, like from 76 to 538. Then if I see what are the cash on the books, so I would agree to this part that, because they would be expanding something very aggressively, because when you see their total fixed assets, right, from 6 it has gone to 800, so they might be planning something very big. Maybe that's why they have taken a lot of debt and so on. Okay, so that's why I mentioned that this can be a company that could be worth keeping a track on, but check for the fundamentals, because even if you see their financial assets, their cash is okay, because now I think that they might be raising funds through equity as well. So you can see that their share capital from 46, it has gone to 325 crores, right? They are I think raising in terms of cash and they are raising in terms of debt and equity both. So that's where, you might have to follow their result. Now if I see their results are good. Okay, you can see that there is some improvement that is happening, but the only thing that makes me a little worried is that why is it that the cash flow is not that good? And when I see the I think their receivables, so receivables have also jumped up, but it is probably not that big. The quarterly revenue is 346. So yeah, I mean receivables are still fine, but my only concern is that this increase in debt, which is substantial. They are not making cash flow right now, which is a little worrisome. So if you see even in their leverage ratios, and you can see that 0.1, 0.2, and their debt has again shot up substantially. So this makes me a little nervous, and their interest coverage has come down also substantially. And the other thing is that they are going and they are pledging their holdings. So supposingly, if they are not able to pull it off whatever they are doing, then it can be a problem. So in fact, wait, let me see. If I go, sorry. So yeah, I mean, basically, those are the thoughts right now, and why I'll be a little careful from Gensol. Bobby, I hope that clarifies your question. Sir, in Sheila Foam, promoter sold stake in 2019. So I don't know, Harsh. They did sell their promoter holding. Why did they sell that? I don't know. I have to dig deeper. This had come only on my radar 2 3 days back, so I have not done a lot of work. But maybe if you do some work around it, you will understand. At this point of time, honestly, I have no idea. So then Hirsch says, what do you look at? Do you look at quantity or value? So it needs to be looked at in both the terms. And the main thing is that how much percentage pre and post transaction is happening, right? So if you see this, and that is what I mentioned to you. At this point of time, this is not something very substantial because it is just 0.1%. I mean, if you see, it is 1 crore, 2 crore that they are buying from the market. So at this point of time, it is not that substantial, but you need to see, how their buying pattern unfolds. So Janki, I cannot talk. See, I don't want to get specific into stocks because I don't think Raymond has also popped up in their insider trading list. I am right now just looking at, the insider trading from an insider trading perspective. So again, Kiran, I cannot talk on Biocon based on Elliott Wave because that is not the what the session is about. Uh, your other question is how can we correlate weekly and monthly RRG sector wise? So again, what you have to understand is that RRG is more like a multi time frame analysis only, where so to your question, how do we, so say for example, I have chosen a group of stock, okay. So यहाँ पे if the monthly are in leading or weakening, that means broadly they are in an uptrend, right? So say for example, if I take Nalco right now you can see on a monthly is in leading, and weekly I think it would have called okay. So and weekly it entered the leading mode and then it is rising higher. So this is actually a strong stocks because on both the time frame it is in a leading time frame, right? So that is how, I mean, you do multi time frame analysis. But I think even Julius had mentioned that this should work as a screener and not like that it is in buy then you go ahead and buy next day, because these are all relative performance that you have to understand. If the Nifty falls by 10% and Nalco falls only by 5%, then it will come into the outperforming list because it is outperforming the market. So that is also something that you need to keep in mind, that these are all relative returns and not absolute returns. Okay, so yeah. Sushil, so yeah, there is a question from Ulas. Customized sector watch list is not provided with the ratio chart. So what you can do is that, Ulas, you can create your stock and make it that custom watch list, whatever you want, and then you can put it on RRG to understand the ratio. But yes, at this point of time, we haven't created a sector watch list. There are some other priorities that we have at this point of time, which we are doing it. But all I can say is that this is definitely there in our to-do list. It is taking a little bit of time to for us to make those changes that we want. But we want to make sure that we'll take a little time and do it perfectly fine, and such that there are no bugs that come in. Okay. So yes, there is one more thing. Please, there is actually one doc which has been shared. Okay, which is this. So there is this document where you can go and you can fill in. You can give all your feedbacks. So we'll consider it and we will implement. While doing all the changes when we are doing in the features. So we'll consider doing that. Okay. So please, do fill up this form. Next is there any Strike mobile app? No, Chirag Vyas, at this point there is no mobile app, because you can see that this is a very data heavy sort of platform. So far, we are thinking how to put it on mobile app at some point, but uh, right now we don't have it. So I think there is a last question that is from Vikas. Please share the hiding pockets that is sector specific in case of. So this is not a recommendation webinar, because you might have all those answers on Strike when you do those heat map or you go on the scanners. And honestly, there is no hiding space as such. I mean, you can see that in this decline, even FMCG and pharma were falling. Okay, where they were technically the hiding spot, but there are a lot of moving factors that are there, right? So the best is to take each day as it comes and see what is outperforming, what is underperforming. You can see it through RRG or heat map. We have uh, you so yes, I mean, you have I mean, we have given you all the tools. We have made those videos also online. You can just have a look at it. If you have any difficulty in understanding, please go to help. Okay, go to help, raise a ticket and mention that you are having difficulty in understanding. Someone from our side will call you and help you understand the features. Okay. Ashok, your question was that how to export watch list. No, so right now we don't have an option to export watch list, Ashok. We only have it. Yeah, actually, if you click over here and you do it over here and you see export, so you will get it over here. Okay, just go to the watch list, do a right click anywhere and get it on Excel. So say I've taken this on Excel, you will get the watch list over here. Okay, I hope that answers your question of your. Do we have a scanner for valuation setup? Ashish, as I mentioned to you, I mean, we have done it in our backend, but right now we don't want to go live with it, because if at all any question, I mean, any issues arise, and there are some bugs in that as well. So if there are any issues that will arise, then we might not be able to address that, and that might lead to a bad experience, for the user. So that's where we are holding it right now. Once we optimize our system entirely to 1 minute, which you should see it happening in next couple of weeks or months, and once we do that, I assure you that we'll go live with that, because it is something that even we want to go live with. But there are some hurdles we are facing at our end, and that's why right now we are holding back. But trust me, I mean, give us couple of weeks or months and you will see a very robust system, and with a lot more new and very interesting features as well. uh, VSP, your question is with respect to RRG, kindly update your license well in advance so that not deprived the paying clients 2-3 days of no service well in advance so that VSP, I mean, we had, I think, put out on Twitter as well, we had put out on our Telegram channel as well that there will be some issues in the features. Maybe you might have missed it, but honestly we had put out these things. And whenever and if at all there are some bugs and people report us, we try to resolve it as soon as possible. So yeah, I think we have covered a lot of ground today. I hope you have found this session helpful. And basically the reason for doing this webinar was to make you all understand the promoter behavior, because right now, honestly, when the market corrects, I have seen a lot of promoter come and they are buying into the stock. But this time around in this correction, they have not come in a large way. So that probably tells me that this might not be the rock bottom what we are thinking, or at least the promoter don't find that juicy opportunity in their own company, and that is why they are not coming. But keep an eye on this, and especially keep an eye on selling of the promoter at this market, because if they are not buying, that means promoter think that maybe their stocks are either fairly valued or maybe overvalued. So they might come and sell the stock as well. So be mindful of that. So especially the ones which are in your watch list, keep a track of them. And as I mentioned to you, spare 5 minutes or 10 minutes, come to this bulletin board and see what is and see what the promoter activity is doing. It might barely take you some time, but I'm very sure it might help you big way in understanding the behavior of the stock or what could be happening, or at least it can get to that starting point for you to think that is this stock overvalued, or is it that the company is cyclical and right now the profits are at a very cyclical peak. So this will really help you a lot. So yes, I hope you found this session helpful. And stay tuned. I think we do webinars almost every Sundays. So hopefully next Sunday we'll come up with some other interesting webinar as well. So thanks for joining us on a holiday that is on Sunday, and I hope this added value. Thank you.